It is almost impossible to get 100% of the people to agree on anything. Take an issue like sports betting, for example. You could poll 100 people. You are not going to get 100% of them to agree on the issue. Some will believe that the legalization of sports betting is a good thing. Some will believe it causes an increase in crime. It's destructive to families. When you're polling on issues, anything above I would say 50% is considered a success. If 60% of respondents say that sports betting should be legalized, maybe politicians and legislators take that into consideration and push for legalization. Now, that's a very basic example, but you get the point. But what if I told you that out of a focus group of 30, 97% were on the same side of a certain issue, 29 out of 30 all leaning the same way? There's only one representative on the other side of the argument. 97%. That's a pretty good number, right? If you're on the same side as the other 97%, you would view that as a success, right? On issues like sports gambling, maybe abortion, illegal immigration, I don't think anyone would complain about 97% being on the same side, no matter which side it was on. 97% want legalized abortion or 97% want abortion outlawed. Either way, if you're on the same side as the other 97%, there wouldn't be any complaints. But there's one issue where 100% compliance is not requested, it is demanded. There is one cause where you're expected to show your support whether you agree with it or not. And that issue is the gay pride. To be honest with you, I don't understand why this is still an issue. When the pride movement started, what was that, about 2 decades ago? They framed the narrative around the fact that you shouldn't care what I'm doing with my emotional support shovel in my bedroom. You're absolutely right. Matter of fact, I don't care. If Lonnie wants to divorce Bonnie and join the bongo band with Ronnie, I'm cool with that. If they want to hold hands in public and whisper sweet nothings in their hairy ears, I say go for it. The problem comes when you want to shove it in my face and push your lifestyle on children. There are 30 teams in Major League Baseball. 29 of those 30 teams set aside the entire month of June to celebrate the Pride. Now, this should be more than enough compliance for the mainstream media, right? Hell, the Dodgers, they just took it a step further by honoring a group of pretend nuns using their dongs to model Target's latest tuck-friendly thong. The mainstream media should be satisfied with baseball's promotion of pride. They won the fight. 97% of Major League Baseball teams acquiesced to their demands. But instead of focusing on the positive or the revolting negative, depending on how you look at it, the media wants to focus on the one team that refuses to use their platform to endorse the preferred position that canines utilize to create a litter of puppies. But before we get into the athletics hit piece on the Texas Rangers, let's get into the sponsor for today's video, my friends at All Strokes Matter. Over the last couple of months, we've discussed the fact that a lot of these mainstream brands have professed their love of the pride. Target, Kohl's, North Face. If you're a normal person, it's getting harder and harder to buy clothes without supporting brands that don't align with your values. A couple of weeks ago, I had someone email me asking if I had any shopping suggestions. She was looking for clothes for her husband and wanted a brand that refused to dip their logo in the rainbow. And at the time, I didn't have any suggestions, but now I finally do. Let me tell you about my friends at All Strokes Matter, and do not let the name fool you here. My friends at All Strokes Matter, they are the complete opposite of the organization Black Lives Matter. They love and support our military, share the same values that we have. Plus, they have an amazing line of clothing. This right here is one of my favorites. You guys know how much I love my long sleeve tees. Let me just model it a bit for you here. I'm sure most of you guys remember those parental warning labels that used to come on explicit content CDs. They have taken that same design and used it for fitted hats. When you spend your hard-earned money with All Strokes Matter, you can rest assured that a portion of the proceeds will be used to help veterans who serve our military instead of funding the next gay pride parade. Now click the link in the description or the pinned comment below. Save 30% off your first order with All Strokes Matter. All right, Brittany Guy-Rowley, senior writer at The Athletic. Well, Casey, what is The Athletic? It's the sports division, or supposed to be the sports division of the New York Times, designed to propagandize dudes who just want to read about their favorite sports teams. Brittany Guy Rowley, not to be confused with the other Brittany identifier Bob Griner. Brittany Guy Rowley is responsible for covering Major League Baseball. She's responsible for reporting what's happening in the locker room, what's happening on the field. But instead, Bobby 2.0 wasted her time criticizing the Texas Rangers for their refusal to endorse the Gay Pride. The article starts off innocently enough. She started off with fact-based reporting, which, as you guys know, is a rarity in the mainstream media. But it didn't take Bobby G long to confirm the shitfuck status. Title of the article: Texas Rangers are MLB's only team without a Pride Night, and that is unlikely to change. Translation: the Texas Rangers are the only team in Major League Baseball who actually listen to their customers. Brittany G begins the article by highlighting all the special nights on the Rangers calendar. They have Choctaw Casino and Resorts Night. As a card-carrying member of Woke United Methodist, I thought this would make Brittany G happy. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Choctaws, they are a tribe of the Guardians, right? According to deacons at Woke United Methodist, the Guardians, they belong to a marginalized group. They are so marginalized, we had to change their description from Indians or Native Americans to Guardians or Commanders. The Rangers, they also celebrate Harry Potter Night, the night designed for children who are entertained by Harry Potter, and the nerdy adults who are obsessed with the franchise and actually believe that bullshit. The Rangers also have community nights where they allow fans to take a tour of Globe Life Field. Last Friday night, while the Dodgers were celebrating dudes in tuck-friendly bathing suits, the Texas Rangers were celebrating Abilene Christian University. Did you just say Christian? That is blasphemous! Those religious freaks worship the King of Kings when they should be worshiping the oak tree of trees. The Rangers also have a night set aside to celebrate vegans. They call it Vegan Night. Again, I thought this would tickle the attached pickle of members of the mainstream media. You guys know how much the shitfucks love their vegetables. The cucumber, the supersized squash for those with a loose caboose. Are nuts considered vegetables? Either way, they enjoy anything that doesn't involve meat. The deacons prefer to eliminate the meat instead of consume it. Just ask some of their favorite meat removers like Leah Thomas or Bobby D. None of these celebrations matter because the Texas Rangers, they refuse to celebrate the one cause that is near and dear to their black heart, the pride. Let me ask you something. All those nights that I just laid out, what do they all have in common? Besides maybe the Guardian Casino, most of these nights are centered around the family. They're all kid-friendly celebrations. Even the casino night. You don't have to worry about the Choctaw Casino promoting something that you don't want your kids exposed to. Contrast those celebrations with celebrations of pride and what we've seen in the past. I mean, you never know what your kids will be exposed to on Pride Night. Brittany Guy Rowley published several anonymous quotes from people who work for the Texas Rangers. The BG wanted her readers to know these employees are real mad. One employee was quoted as saying, "It's so ironic. We just played the Tampa Bay Rays during their celebration of Wiener. Their whole message was baseball is for everyone, but not if you're a fan of the Texas Rangers." First of all, which employees were saying this? We'll never know because, just like Bill Plaschke, Brittany Guy Rowley refuses to provide examples or names. We're just supposed to, take her word for it. Which forces us to speculate. So let's speculate for a second. Which employees of the Texas Rangers are upset with their refusal to endorse the pride? Highly doubt it's the players. The players are the ones affected by this the most. The players are being pressured to wear rainbow jerseys. The players are being pressured to endorse something that could be against their religion. So, is the janitor upset about it? Who cares? Janitors easily replaced. Is this fake outrage coming from nurse diverse on the medical staff? Who cares? There are thousands of nurses who aren't emotionally triggered when the month of woke Christmas is ignored. And let me steal a line from Little Red Riding Hood, Jen Psaki. Let's circle back to this false notion that baseball is for everyone. The truth is, nothing is for everyone. Nothing is all inclusive. This is one of those phrases meant to climax the woke boners who are turned on by inclusion. These sports leagues, they like to pretend that they market their product to everyone. They like to pretend they reach every demographic, but that's just not realistic. It's not the case. Who does the NBA market their league to? 18 to 49-year-old males. Why? Because that's who watches the NBA. Who should Major League Baseball be targeting? Older white men. That's who consumes their product. Instead, 29 of 30 Major League Baseball teams, they are marketing their product to less than 10% of the population. Of that 10%, how many of them actually watch Major League Baseball? 71% of Major League Baseball's diehard fan base, they're over the age of 35. 60% white or Hispanic. How many of those dudes want to see Debbie drag throughout the first pitch? Another employee quoted in this article in The Athletic, they were complaining about feeling uncomfortable talking about their sexual orientation at work. They were insinuating that the Rangers weren't a safe space for birthing persons who identify as LGBT. I know it's been a while since I've worked in an office setting, but I did spend 15 or so years working in corporate America. During those 15 years, sexual conversations of any nature were frowned upon. Most companies, especially human resources, they don't want you talking about your proclivities in the bedroom. So, why would the policies be different because your proclivities just happen to be different? Why should Sheila's secretary have to hear about your weekend experience at the Tootie Booty? I don't understand this need to flaunt your proclivities at work. And look, I don't think the vast majority of LGBTers agree with this notion. This is a narrative that is being promoted and pushed by the mainstream media. Like I say all the time, the LGBT community, they are being used. It's no different than woke United Methodists using the black community a couple of years ago to promote mythical racism. They always infiltrate a movement that starts out positively, but they always infiltrate a movement and use it for purposes of division, to divide us. Credit should be given to the Texas Rangers for refusing to fold to the pressure. We saw something like this similar in the NHL this season. All it takes is one team, or in some cases, one player to take a stand. All it takes is the courage of one. Others who were previously afraid to speak out, they'll follow their lead. We'll see if this happens in Major League Baseball. I will say the celebration of Pride, it's been a whole lot less aggressive than it was last year, but give me your thoughts. The Athletic blasts the Texas Rangers for refusing to endorse the Pride. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.